everyone, and welcome to Think Future. My name's Chris Calabucas, and once again we're coming at you live from deep in the heart of Silicon Valley, California. We're talking innovation, startups, the future, not necessarily those, and not necessarily in that order. In fact, today we're talking about AI and aliens. That's right, folks, AI and aliens. Because all we ever talk about nowadays is AI. The only thing that's innovative is AI. The only thing that startups that are getting any money are AI. In the future, it's all about AI. So we're talking innovation, startups, the future, AI, and aliens. If you're watching on YouTube, smack that subscribe button and hit that bell so you'll be notified when a new show comes online. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast service, please subscribe and drop a note on Apple Podcasts. I greatly appreciate it. Now, I read an article the other day which amused me greatly. And the article basically stated, and I forget who authored the article, but they said that if aliens were ever to come to this planet, that they would more likely want to speak with our AI than us. And I thought to myself, okay, maybe in 100 years, maybe in 50 years, maybe in 20 years, maybe in 10 years, I don't know, whenever AI can actually get to the level of intelligence where it actually is somewhere near where we are. I mean, some people might argue that we already have other intelligent species on the planet. There's dolphins, there's octopi, there's humans, there's other mammals. I don't know. Maybe there are. Maybe the thing is that contextually they're in such a different place that there's no way for us to know if these animals really are sentient, really have the ability for sentience. It's kind of like in Star Trek, where the only time they'll contact a civilization is when they find that it's warp capable, right? That it can actually leave the planet and discover all this other Federation stuff, and then only then will they go down and talk to it. So it's like aliens looking at us. Will they come down to us? Maybe they won't come down to us. Maybe it's like a prime directive kind of thing. Maybe they have a prime directive too. Maybe they have a general order 1. Maybe they have something which stops them from coming to talk to us until we've reached some level of maturity where they can talk to us. And I thought we were going to reach that level of maturity, but now we've fallen back into the morass. We're falling back into the mess. We're devolving. That's why Devo is one of my favorite bands. I think devolution is real. Devolution is absolutely real. We're devolving back to a primitive state. We're turning back into cave people. But I digress. So do you really think that aliens would much rather speak to our AI than us? Well, it depends on what you think about aliens. See, this is the thing with aliens. It's like there was a really great science fiction author once who wrote, and I forget who wrote this, but he said, if you think about Star Trek is not actually depicting people from the 23rd century. It's depicting people from the 20th century in the 23rd century. Because we can't possibly conceptualize what the people of the 23rd century would be like. We can conceptualize what the people of the 20th century would be like, but we can't conceptualize what the people of the 23rd century will be like. Although if we go back 300 years, we can conceptualize what the people of the 1700s were like, but we can't conceptualize what the people of the 2300s will be like because we do not know how fast technology will move. But at the same time, if you think about it, if you had a couple characters, if you got the best futurists in the world together, let's say there's a new Star Trek show coming up, and you get the best futurists in the world together to try and envision what human beings will be like in the 25th century, or the 24th century. Not too far out, 400 years, 500 years. And the top futurists of the world got them all together into a room and had them envision characters in a 24th century setting, 24th century humans in a 24th century setting. We wouldn't be able to identify with them at all. And that's one of the key things about media, that was one of the key things about any kind of storytelling, is that you need to be able to identify characters with the characters. You have to identify with the characters. Look at something like Star Wars. You identify with Luke. You identify with Vader. You identify with Leia. You identify with the characters because the characters are kind of like you. They're kind of like human beings bumbling their way through this galaxy, which is long time ago and far, far away. And it just happens to also have droids and other things. But the reason why these things do well is because they are 20th century, 21st century people placed in these weird worlds. And they try to live in these weird worlds according to the rules of the weird worlds, but they're not people from that time. They're people from this time. So it's already fake. Because if you got a bunch of futurists in a room and you had them figure out what those people would be like, they'd probably be extremely strange, weird, and maybe even unlikable. You wouldn't be able to interact with them. It's like time travel stories that go back in time 300 years and you have people just normally interacting with people. They wouldn't be able to. They would smell different. They would look different. Their dialogues would be different. The idiosyncrasies would be different. Somebody might even be thrown right in jail because it's like, this guy's too weird. So what I'm trying to say is that if aliens were out there and they're waiting for something to happen, I don't think that they'd be talking to AGI first. I don't think they'd be talking to our AI first because they know our AI is a creation of us. And if we really, really were interested in talking to aliens, and if we really, really believed that there were aliens out there waiting for us to evolve to a certain point so that they would talk to us, then I think we really need to change the direction that we're going in. Because if these are benevolent aliens that don't want to come and destroy us all, then they'd probably want to see a world without war, a world where there's unity, a world where everyone is striving to improve humanity. Not this world where we have factions looking to tear it down and other factions looking to improve it. I think when you have the majority of the planet working to improve humanity, then you might see that flying saucer. That's it for me for today. See you next time, and until then, don't forget to think future.